This is the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mosen.
It's Friday, folks. It's great to be back here again. I have my very good friend, Sean ONeal, on air with me today. How are you, Sean?
I'm really great.
Awesome. Listen, I'm so excited to have you because you have such a great eye for photography. You've done some amazing, amazing work, and we've been chatting about it. And I have to say that I had nothing but, great words to share with friends and family members about your work. Can you share a little bit about your pieces and what you've done?
Well, yeah, like I was sort of telling you, I have these sort of two directions that I'm going down. Mm-hmm. And one is, because I live in California and I'm sort of limited with where I can go, I really want to show California in a way that's never been seen before, mm-hmm. and sort of, through California, show how beautiful the world is, mm-hmm. Totally unedited, untouched. I think that with my photography, with the California photography, I really want to reconnect people to nature, because I think we've gotten to this point where, because of technology, because of distractions, we're missing on so much of what it means to be alive, which to me is, and sort of the last thing that, the last symbol of what that means, because of, it's not Instagram, it's not technology, there is really so much we can learn and so much we can gain. Just, there's nothing to lose by spending time in nature. And I know that because there's so much photography, because there are so many distractions, I wanted to take pictures that are as dynamic, as interesting, as emotional, as sort of striking and stunning as I could.
Yes.
To get people to really reawaken like these. I know that deep down within every single human being, there is that connection to nature. And I think it gets lost in translation through all the other things that we're distracted by nowadays. Like, I myself can feel it, where you just get into a pattern of where you look at your phone every couple of minutes, check your Instagram and Facebook you check, and TV and the news and all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. But I really want to wanted the pictures to be so powerful that there becomes this yearning or a small part of the person. Maybe if I did, spend a little time in the park, or if I went out with my kids to the desert for a couple of days, or if I went way up into the forest and walked through it with my girlfriend, maybe that could kind of help me adjust to how difficult life is, especially in America right now.
Right.
And you don't need any money to do it. It's not about having luxury goods. It's really like one of the most valuable things to me on the planet.
It is,
spending time in nature, and it doesn't require anything. Like, you don't have to pay at all.
Right. It is, and your work is beautiful, actually, because you've done some humanitarian work in Nepal, and you captured some beautiful photographs in Nepal as well. What was the humanitarian effort? The name of the? It
was through my California photography. Luckily, I had building a lot of buzz in New York City, mm-hmm. With a lot of great people and a lot of great connections, mm-hmm. and they were some people were so into it that I got introduced to the founder of this charity called the Cheetah Charity Organization. That's CITTA.
Yes.
And you can check them out at cheetah.org.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is one of the most remarkable human beings I've ever met. He started working with the Dalai Lama, then worked with Mother Teresa. And before she died, she told him she wanted him to start his own charity where he goes to the most remote places in the world, the poorest and most remote places in the entire world. So that became to him Tibet, Nepal, and India. And this summer, he asked me to go with him to Nepal to photograph sort of what he was doing there and sort of do my own thing to show truly how devastating these last two earthquakes were to their country, because they have no infrastructure, no government, no one really looking out for them. And every single house, every shop was destroyed. I mean, there was not one place I saw that was still intact, especially once we went into the countryside. And so we went into some of the, within Nepal is already a third world country. It's already
Right.
extremely
It
poor.
is.
We
Very.
started in Kathmandu and went to some of the most remote places within Nepal, which were just places completely off the grid, no electricity, totally living off the land. And that was where I just had some of the most profound experiences in my life, because not only was I lucky enough to get photography that I think is extremely powerful and
It is
moving,
very, very powerful. Yeah.
it was honestly better than any. I was only there 6 days, but I knew in that 6 days I had to do everything I could to soak up and absorb and to really capture what I thought the essence of that country is, which is just incredible strength and it just unconquerable spirit.
What is the website for them to view the photography or purchase for,
It's
for
SeanONealPhotography.com, www.
Sean O'Neal?
SeanONeal photography.
And for questions, folks, 1-800-662-9550. And that's what I do love about your spirit, because you really are so passionate. You're definitely very much focused on making sure that people can see the beauty and being out there and capturing moments. As you said, it's time spent without spending money, just to enjoy what we have.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important to me that I got Nepal onto my website with the California, because they are, more than any other group of people that I've met, just that metaphor of they are completely at peace with just having nothing, and they are extremely generous with the very little they have. They love the land. They love spending time in nature, and they are, like, to me, exactly what nature has to offer. They are like, not animals in the best sense of the word, though, that they just, they're so spiritually at peace.
Yes.
And they taught me, like, when I came back, I was so grateful just to be able to shower, because I basically couldn't even shower while I was there, and I actually got extremely sick from the water, the food. We had bacteria I wasn't used to or something.
Well, it's a change, yeah. I mean, you're traveling. I mean, I'm originally from Bangladesh, so it's kind of like, we're right next door in Nepal, and it's different lifestyle, and so there is a lot of gratitude for what we take for granted here in the U.S. versus what, people are not seeing in the third world. And the thing with you, Sean, which I think is remarkable, is not only your work, but your mom is Tatum O'Neal. And your dad is John McEnroe, both who I think are extremely gifted and great humans. And you're truly such a kind and wonderful soul. You really are. We've had conversations, and I've said, wow, like, this is so great that I can at least share the gift that you have, because you do have a great eye for photography, and you've done such good work with not only capturing the landscape, in the U.S. and California, be it, but also Nepal. Like, wow, it was, and we will be sharing that, on social media.
So much to me, and it's through it's growing up amongst, it wasn't just my dad and mom, but I have grandparents and uncles, and there's so many people in my family who had achieved so much, and regardless of how my relationships with them were, just being around that and wanting to prove myself, my worth, it led to somehow me. I had gone through a lot. It was actually quite difficult in a lot of ways, but all of that, I think, led to me really wanting to use all of, what I learned from my family and what I sort of was given genetically, to give back, because I realized in my 20s that was the thing that made me feel the most fulfilled and the best about myself was, and the people in Nepal were just they were so nice to me. I mean, when I was in some of the towns, I had 15 to 20 little boys carrying my cameras, surrounding me everywhere I went, asking me questions all day long, the same kind of two questions over and over again. But it was really like, wow, they're just so full of life. They have no worries. Like, all of the things I care about, all of the little things that I get caught up in, they don't have it at all. And I was like, I mean, this is something America could learn so much from right now.
Yeah.
And I wish that, they were put in the media more. I wish it was sort of less about the stuff that is more populated and about how, what's going on in Nepal and
Right.
all of these amazing, because there's so many stories, there's so many people doing so many great things in
Yes.
these countries, and I want to, use, the fact that I do have, I come from a famous family to help bring some awareness to these people. I really, really want to give back to them because they just had such a transformative effect in my life in just a week. And so I know I'm going to keep going back with this charity. I will be back there again, and I will continue to do everything I can to bring awareness to them because they really, really, I can't say it in words enough, but they
Yeah.
just,
Making changes, life changes, and I think
Absolutely.
that the photography speaks for itself, and so you can go on to Sean O'Neal's website. It's www.seanoneal.com photography. So if you are looking,
JohnO'NealPhotography.com, and on those Nepal photos,
Mhm.
all of the photos that I took in Nepal, the prints that get purchased, all those
proceeds go to
charity.
the
And that-
charity. Yeah,
And Peter right now is presently building health posts
wonderful.
in the most remote areas in Nepal. That's the thing they need the most because
Well,
when you go way out into the villages,
yeah.
they don't have doctors or nurses. So when they break their arm, I met so many little boys who had broken their arm and were deformed because they were so far from any just basic doctor or medical care.
Well,
And
you
that's
know what?
right now.
What we're gonna have to wrap up, but Sean, I'd love to have the founder on air, so you let him know.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd be happy to.
Michael Dobby is his
yeah,
name, and I will definitely
get us connected because I'm all about life's a team sport. We can make some changes here. And again, folks, it's 1-800-662-9550. Any last words, Sean?
I just want to leave everybody with who's listening with just, I'd love obviously for you to check out my website, but I'd also love to just say that, if you get the chance, if you have a little time in your day to just go out and spend a little time in nature by yourself.
Yes.
And, just try and be present with it. Don't look at your phone. And I think, it might not happen at first, but if you continue to do it little by little, you really, really will feel a difference in your life.
Wonderful. Yeah, I can't agree with you more. And with that, Sean, I'll have you back again, and stay well, folks.
Thank you so much.
This has been the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.